This video will cover the Helix tool. The Helix tool is used to make helical features. A closed profile and a reference line must be created within the same sketch. The Helix tool cannot be used along a curved figure, nor can the default axis be used. Under the Part Modeling tab, the icon for the Helical Boss tool is located in the Extrude Boss group. The Helical Cut tool is located in the Extrude Cut group. Some things to keep in mind. Only reference lines are used for the axis of a helix feature. The axis for the helix cannot be one of the default axes or edges of a part. However, a reference line can be inserted and constrained to the default axes or edge of a part. Typically, helix features are used only when the helix is critical to the design. If you are creating standard screws so that when used in an assembly you will know how many you need, you would not want to use the Helix tool because the Helix tool will create large files that are slower to work with, so use it only when it is critical to the design. To create a Helix feature, select the Helix tool, select the closed sketch to be swept along the helical path, adjust settings in the dialog if necessary, and click the OK button. Each of the 4 types of helix have particular options available. The height and revolution helix type provides options to set the height, number of revolutions, and taper of the helix. The taper option allows a helix feature to have starting and ending diameters that are different from each other. The height and pitch type allows you to set the height, pitch type, and taper, as well as ratio if the variable ratio or variable end pitch types are selected. The constant option keeps the pitch the same at both ends of the helix. The variable ratio option provides a way to cause the pitch to vary along the length of the helix. A number larger than 1 in the ratio box will result in the coils near the helix origin being closer together than at the helix end. A value of less than 1 will have the opposite effect. The variable end option is the opposite of the variable ratio option. The revolution and pitch helix type is similar to the height and pitch type, except that this type allows the setting of the number of revolutions instead of height. The spiral helix type creates a flat coil. The only settings available for this type are revolutions and pitch. In the top section of the dialog are options for setting the coil direction, clockwise or counterclockwise. If necessary, click the Reverse checkbox to change the axial direction the helix is created in. Under the Advanced tab of the dialog are options providing a means to change the start and/or end condition of the coil. Natural or flat conditions. The ends of the coil can have dissimilar end conditions. If flat is chosen, you will also need to specify the transition angle and the flat angle. Transition angle. The distance in degrees over which the coil achieves the transition, normally less than 1 revolution. Flat angle, the distance in degrees the coil extends after transition with no pitch. This provides transition from the end of the revolved coil to a flattened end. The helix on the left has natural end conditions on both ends. The center helix has a flat condition on the top with a transition angle of 180 degrees and a flat angle of 0. The helix on the right has a transition angle of 90 degrees and a flat angle of 180 degrees. At the bottom of the dialog, under the Advanced tab, is the Profile Orientation selection. These images show the 2 different profile conditions. If you need to cut a flat into the end of a helix, insert a plane at the cut location, draw a rectangle on this plane, and then use the Extrude Cut feature to remove the unwanted material. In this video, you learned how to create helix features with the Helix tool. You learned how the Helix dialog provides a variety of options for setting the length, number of coils, pitch, end conditions, and other variables.